Welcome to our first game recap of Season 5. So this is some of Roughbeard's Nurgle playing against my High Elves here. So these are fresh teams. Everyone's got fresh teams for Season 5. Roughbeard is the top-rated coach in the league. I'm fourth. We did that rankings that I shared in the preview video. And yeah, here we are playing some fresh teams. Both got two rerolls. That's riskier for the Nurgle than it is for High Elves. You see all these blue squares here. If you're new to this, it's a disturbing presence. So all of the warriors and the beast of Nurgle all have this ability called disturbing presence. So if you're in one of those squares, which is 3 squares big, sort of what does it work out? 7 by 7, a 49 square area. You get -1 to any attempt to pass or catch the ball. Which is no good for me because High Elves specialise at passing. So it means I have to be careful with all my passes and catches. So the teams, there's no levels in anyone. It's first game for both of us. I've got 3 linemen on the line here, which I've offset. 3 more linemen here, 2 blitzers, they both come with block. 2 catchers come with catch, and the thrower comes with pass and safe throw. So that's me defending. We'll go behind the attacking team like we usually do. They've gone for the 4 warrior, beast, 1 pestigore, however many rotters they need, and 2 rerolls as their build. That was a shame to get a touchback there, because that contributed to changing quite a lot about how I wanted to play this half. But the Nurgle have set up specifically to make sure they can kind of dominate this. One thing they do here is they're about to lead off with the Beast of Nurgle here, and I think this guy on this one first as your lead off gives the beast 3 dice on this one, or this one, in fact, because if you get that guy out of the way, you get assists on whichever one you want to hit. And I think the beast getting 3 dice is a lot more reliable than 2. And of course, you get really stupid when the beast leads off here. So that was a good start for me. But all 3 of these linemen can still get hit with 2 dice. And are going to. So went diagonally there, which is great, because if you get stuck with a pushback, you just push him there. This warrior can have a go as well. That's 3 knockdowns on the line of scrimmage, and a stupid beast with no tackle zone. No armor breaks, so pretty good for me so far. I'd expect them all to get knocked over. And yeah, that's how it goes. So what I was saying about the kick being the touchback, I gave it straight to the pestigore and could get it up in a cage straight away. And that really changed how I wanted to play this half, being on defence. So taking the both down there rather than re-rolling it. Only got 2 re-rolls, got to conserve them. So do take that slightly early turnover, but there wasn't much more they were doing. I think this warrior hadn't acted, but that's about it. But they've got the ball caged up already. And I probably could still. I think I was eyeing up this rotter as the blitz. Maybe this lineman assisting this blitzer coming in there to make up space to get in behind. But what I really wanted was for them to be holding the ball quite deep or failing to hold the ball quite deep. And I can get in and cut those players off from the rest of the team. That's how I really wanted to begin defending this. But getting it in a cage early, which is partly brought about by the touchback and means they could just give it to that pestigore and move it up, meant I started rethinking it. And I later came to regret that. I think I decided I took this situation. I eyed up the no tackle zone on the beast meant that this player could assist on a block here. So that became where my blitz was going to be. And I wanted to do that because I was eyeing up a foul on this warrior, who was going to be completely surrounded by my players and was a good opportunity to have a go at that warrior. And I think the Nurgle are going to function much less efficiently with just one of those warriors off the pitch if I could get it there. So that became the focus of my turn, was this foul, which is why the blitz was there to free these 2 assists up. And I could possibly have piled more in. L-shape there is quite difficult to blitz without committing a strength 4 player to it. And then a dodge away here, because I don't have to worry about tentacles. And only get a stun and get sent off. So not a good exchange at all. And really, I think I got a bit carried away making that foul. When I don't have a bench, I don't have any bribes, and the chances of removal are relatively slim. So I think the bottom line is I made the wrong choice there, I think. So Beast is back in action, gets a knockdown, and that's one of my blitzers now stuck against it. So I need it to fail another really stupid probably to be able to move this guy again. And this is pretty tight cage. That warrior's gone a bit forwards for them. Is that chain push? Just looking at what 2 dice blocks I've got, and I think what I was looking at is I do have a based cage here, even though it's 2 dice uphill, but I've got a block and the beast doesn't. So it's like, I think it's 25% to knock down. Thought, why not give it a go? So just start preparing for that with some things that are a bit safer. So I think I'm looking at 2 dice here as well. With a block player, definitely safer. Catch a deep in case this will go horribly wrong. But foul appearance. So potentially save my blitzer from something worse then. But if some players extra here, I can get 2 dice on this warrior. And hopefully follow up to have a marker on the ball, which is the plan here. So I do have a marker on the ball. That means I have to deal with that, and it's probably where their blitz is going to be. And they do that with the warrior who just got knocked over and puts him down as well. But that does kind of mean the cage isn't going anywhere this turn. And that failed really stupid is quite big. So if you're going to use a big guy as a cage caller, there's always that risk that you're going to lose a tackle zone at the edge of it. But having this warrior in there helps a bit. That puts me down to 9 players, so yeah, trying to defend against a full Nurgle team with 9 players is not going to be easy. But I do have an opportunity here, so they put that rotter in there to prevent me just having 2 dice here. But that means I've got to use both of these catches to block this rotter. So I have that 2 dice, and that gives my thrower 2 dice on this warrior. And now I'm looking at, if this is a power, I follow up, and my throw is an assist. Because the beast has gone stupid, I don't need to worry about tentacles, and I can just dodge out with the splitzer, and that's 2 dice on the ball, is what I'm looking at. But I'd need this to be a power, and it's not. It's just a push. So then I probably shouldn't have followed up with my thrower, because I'm leaving my thrower vulnerable. So other blitzers drop deep there. Do make that dodge, and it's 1 dice on the ball. Which is successful. So ball down on the floor, but I've got no means of coming to do anything about it. And just trying a bit of dodging away here. And then that one worked against all odds. And the one place I've left them any contact is here. So rotter can come across, and now my thrower is vulnerable. Beast moves forward to mark these 2 players. So this is a good way to use a Beast of Nurgle, really. Just move it about if you need to, and just hold people in place. And this blitzer especially is just being held there. Thrower's being targeted by warriors. And then trying to fetch the ball. Needs a reroll. But unsuccessful. So that's one of the 2 rerolls down. We're both doing quite well at conserving rerolls so far. We've got 2 each. That is 1 down for the Nurgle, and it didn't even help, which is good. Now this turn, this is where I think I went really wrong at this drive, because I decided quite early on that my priority was to get this guy standing over here, maybe trying to pick the ball up. It'd be a 4+, and it'd be sort of a quite late action in the move, but I think at least I want him standing there. So this is where my blitz has to be. So I'm looking at this blitzer to come along and do that, to open up a space for this guy to come stand in there. And then part way through the turn, to make the blitz, and then part way through the turn, I just completely lose sight of that and start doing other stuff. I think I was a bit caught between the options of trying to pick up and doing that late on, so it's less risky, or just getting him there in the first place. And I think I should have just been getting him there before I rolled any more dice. So move a couple of players around here so that I can hit this rotter. And then didn't think ahead enough here, so I followed up to get him away from the warrior. But if I hadn't, then my catcher would have had just one dodge to make to come around here where I wanted him. But instead I failed that one to get away initially. And then kind of have to dip in here and out again, and failed another dodge. So failed two of those 3+ rolls with that catcher. Sorry, two of those 3 2+ rolls. That's what I meant. But crucially, I didn't move this guy at all, and he could have just walked around and stood here, made it difficult for them to pick up, and also would have sort of dictated where their blitz had to be. And that's really what I should have done earlier. That was my intention from the beginning, and I just didn't do it before I started messing around with this catcher who fell over. And that left a big gap here for them to just go run the ball in through there. And it means they can use their blitz somewhere else to make this even harder to break down. I think actually it might be this... oh no, he goes there. Where is the blitz in the end? Is it this warrior? I think it might be this warrior. Beast pass stupid, failed really stupid there, could have been pretty massive. But instead that is the beast picking up casualty, so first star player points on the archbishop of this team. And that warrior can come walk through, and that's pretty solid, there's no getting in there. I think they just didn't blitz that turn, that's where it was. Just get myself 2 dice there, and I think I'm looking at trying to blitz one of these warriors, but this is all the high strength players surrounding the Pestigore here. This is pretty unbreakable. And I'm down 2 players as well, so it's slightly evened up there and had an easy surf on. But no damage, so that rotters back next drive. And I think, was I looking at... Yeah, trying to dodge away from tentacles for 1 dice here. I think I was doing that late on. So that's looking for a surf next turn. And then couldn't get past tentacles. So Pestigore's forwards. And I think that this is just going to be pretty solid again. So not taking the go for it to protect that corner. And moves over that way. So I'm wondering if... I mean, this guy can come down here, and it's pretty slim odds of me getting there already, but I was eyeing that up and wondering if there's something I could do better. I think maybe if this warrior was here, this warrior came over this way to sort of protect that corner from further over here, is possibly on. Yeah, sort of not having to worry about that, though, because it looks from here like I'm going to be left a red dice block on, but not so much. And they've kind of covered that off, actually, with this rotter here. It's made it a bit hard to get around that way. I think even my quicker players are going to struggle. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, so I'd have to be dodging into 2 tackle zones already as it is. That was already pretty solid. I was just wondering if it could have been better. I don't think it really needed to be. So throw an uphill block there to get the rotter away from the touchline. Rather than potentially safer, just 4+ dodge to there. I suppose there's the outside chance of a knockdown going that way. Okay, so that's my last reroll down. Needed to save that double skulls. So I think I'm looking for 1 dice on this warrior from this blitzer, and then try and just get a tackle zone on the ball to try and force him to roll some dice. Do get away from tentacles there. Put him in place. So if I do manage to get the ball on the floor, like force them to have to make a dodge or make a block that goes wrong and the ball goes down, I want players who can pick the ball up if necessary, and I've got a catcher in scoring position. So I'm looking at 1 dice here and then to just mark the ball carrier. But foul appearance comes up, second time in the game. And then no chances taken from the Nurgle team, who are out of rerolls and are able to score in turn 8. So perfect half for them in the end, and a really well played one. So we are looking at. So these two players, I'm going to be at the most have 9 players the rest of the game. I do get my knockout back, which is really helpful. And I've got 1 turn, and I'm playing Elves, so I can try and do something about that. I will switch views a bit prematurely because it's just 1 turn left. My opponent leaves 3 rotters here and then backlines, which is kind of what I'd want to see if I'm going to attempt 1 turn, because having these 3 bunched together, although I don't approach this right considering they are all bunched together, it kind of makes it easier to get the chain pushes you need if they're all bunched up here. If there's gaps in between them, it's a bit harder to do that because you've got to fill in more spaces somehow. I did go for it, and I start it all wrong by trying to push one in and then pushing back into this one and start pushing that way. And also wonder with Nurgle as well, if these 3 were warriors, that's going to be -3 on my catch when it comes to it, and I'm going to have to try and give this guy the ball. Throw back here to try and retrieve. But yeah, beast and 2 warriors or 3 warriors in on the line of scrimmage. Good time to have a blitz go against me when they're not going to do anything about it. And I really started this all wrong. I should have had these all bunched up with my catcher here, or if we imagine this square was filled in and my blitz is there on that corner, and I can push into there, into the catcher, getting forward 1 space already. He only needs to move forward 3 spaces, and that would have been one of them with my first block. But here I've made one, and I've got to push without pushing my catcher anywhere. And then realised I messed up because I needed a player in there, so I had to make another dodge. Yeah, it was all approach strong, and then I get the both down. So I couldn't even move the catcher 1 square forwards. But the idea was, that's a push, I push into him. And then I've got a box here, and I can push into that rotter again to push him there, catcher forward, and then I need to move a couple of players around to make a T-shape. Use this blitzer to push the rotter into the catcher again, and then he's forward into the space where he can reach the end zone. Then I've got it was a bad kick for me as well. It had a long way to go over, and then it was going to be a long bomb. So 5+, 2+, both of those with re-rolls, and then over here for 3+ dodge, 3+ dodge, 2+ dodge to score. So still loads to do, but it went wrong very early on. And I didn't need to. That first one could have pushed my catcher back if I'd set up for it better, and it wasn't really going right from there. And with no rerolls, it's even harder as well. So we go again. So 1-0 down. We have the ball. We're 2 players down as well. So quite a bit to do here. And I think the chances of hanging on to the ball for 8 turns against a team outnumbering me like this, even though they're a lot slower, it's all quite slim chances. And unless I start suddenly taking a lot of players off the pitch, I think I probably need to score quickly if I'm going to at all. Was the way I approached this drive, because it felt like I had chances on defence in the first half, and that was not playing it as I wanted to. So I was sort of happy to be defending again if I could. So because they've got rotters on the line here instead of warriors, I can get some 2 dices in quite quickly. And then if they go down, I can surround the beast and get 2 dice on that as well. I think if those rotters were warriors, I wouldn't have been able to do that, and I would have had to sort of fight around the line of scrimmage. That went very shallow. But I want my thrower to have the ball, so stopping outside of that, the Beast of Nurgle's disturbing presence, which is this blue square here. Catcher is also outside of those. And that's my first star player points of the season for that throw. Okay, so it's a knockdown there. Following up, and I can put someone else in there. And then this blitzer has 2 dice on the beast, which I should have knocked down there so that this lineman wasn't stuck against it when it stands up. Although it's only going to be stuck against that lineman. I guess if I pushed it there, it could have moved 1 square into there. no blitz from me. Just setting up quite protective here. Excuse me. Oh dear, that was sudden. So I felt stupid. Third one I think we've had. First turn in both halves. And then that one where it was a cage corner when I got the ball down. It says it's coming in quite narrow. Which at the time I was quite happy to see because I was concerned about pressure around here because they outnumber me so much. Didn't want to see that. Happy to see the follow-up with no armor break there because that's going to give me 2 dice on it. Unless they get some more support in, which I don't because they hold these players back, sort of holding that line. So balls retreat straight away because I know I'm out of reach of all of them. And then look at what 2 dice blocks I can get, which is this rotter. I'd also, before the game, I'd sort of had the intention of trying to pick off rotters because they're the easiest ones to get off the pitch. And then found myself just hitting warriors over and over again in the first half. So it's sort of not going too well. That's just a push though. Staying there gives me another 2 dice here. And then take that both down. I would have dodged this guy away as well. And yeah, no, I probably shouldn't have done that first. That's 1 in 6 to go wrong. The block was 1 in 9. So probably the right call, but yeah, I want to conserve rerolls. So warrior back on its feet, and then yeah, comes in here. So that's both of my blitzers stuck against it, which I don't want at all. And then the blitz here on the catcher. That's just a push. And similar to me, takes that both down to take the turnover. And this gives me a slight opening because I've got 2 dice here that where I can blitz this Pestigore, and that's going to open up their line a little. So that's where I'm looking this turn. Like, can I get a catcher through to be a scoring threat? Catcher is making the blitz on the Pestigore. Does get it down. And that's the first armor break I've got on a Nurgle player since the foul in the first turn. So hoping for removals, not going so well. Dodge away there. I know this warrior can't reach the ball, so why not leave it alone? And that's another stun. So those 2 stuns this turn really open up the opportunity for me to go score now. That's foul appearance coming off again. Do get away from tentacles again though. That's another player in there. And I think we're just offering... We do, just offering them more problems, I think. Making that 1 dice, so they've got to commit another player there if they want to block one of them. And they're quite sensibly going to surround this catcher with 2 rotters. Could maybe have been the blitz though, although I guess they've got this warrior over here they want to blitz with. Pestigore's is stunned. Do put another rotter in there. This rotter can mark the ball with 2 go for it, but I was happy to sort of give that up. See if they want to roll, try risking 2 pluses on 2 rerolls. Do use the blitz here, and it's just a push. Pushing the catcher into the beast is not welcome for me. Does re-roll that both down. Not taking the turnover there, and does put them down to 1 re-roll. So another dodge away from tentacles, which is helpful. I did get quite a few of those. And here I get this a bit wrong because I get stuck with a pushback. But I'm in the position where I'm feeling like this catcher's in scoring position now, but he's not going to be for much longer. I'm giving up ground down here, and I don't have the players to protect up there and down here because I'm too short. So I'm looking to score this turn. And really, I should have been pushing from there to push the rotter there. Is that right? And then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and go for it. Yeah, that would have been the better way to do it. Yeah, pushing the blitzing from there, pushing the rotter there means I can dodge out there on a 2. But as it is, I'm leaving myself 3+ to catch with a reroll, which I'm fine with. Pass comes off as well. That's a 4+ pass. Carefully outside of disturbing presence, but then make the 3+, 2+, and do put it in. So I needed some dice there. I felt like if the catcher had fallen over somewhere there, the Nurgle didn't have great options for going and grabbing the ball. So I thought it was worth taking that chance. Although I should have set it up better so he had just a 2+ dodge out. But that is 1-1. We're still 2 players down, obviously, because that's going to be the rest of the game. But yeah, definitely feeling the shortage of players when it came to this setup, because I couldn't protect the sort of more important players and more vulnerable players where I could, so I had to go a lot narrower than I'd have liked. And the Nurgle have 5 turns to score. So they've gone quite similar setup. They put the Pestigore forwards though. Obviously want another touchdown on exit or level. But that means there's going to be a rotter carrying the ball. And this kick goes very deep. And it's a quick snap. And it would be quite annoying if this is another touchback. 2 turns running. 2 kickoffs running. Pestigore's gone forwards. Incidentally, with the I forgot to mention it at the time, but I was imagining it does stay in, which is great for me. It means the rotter's got to go back to get it. This is what I wanted first kickoff, really, a deeper kick. Pestigore uses horns to get that blitz. And just stun. But yeah, I was thinking that first kickoff, when there's a touchback, why not give the ball to a Nurgle warrior? Get them scoring touchdowns. That was what I was sort of imagining might happen. There was one who was free, who could have just dipped back a bit and got into a cage. But I did go with the Pestigore and it worked out fine anyway. They scored. But yeah, touchbacks when you've got low agility players who you want levelling, it's a great opportunity to just give them the ball. When you've got like Black Orcs and Saurus and Nurgle warriors, stuff like that, though. Get them that ball. Okay, so Beast has got 3 dice on this lineman. And that one is down. Yeah, knocking along the line, so this lineman's got a dodge if he wants when he gets up, or just take another hit. Or stay on the floor. Yeah, so this half I'd definitely be very much looking to defend more aggressively like I wanted to in the first half. Cheeky vanity pass here between 2 rotters. Generate a point, why not? Yeah, so I'm very much looking at, I want to get as much of my team as I can between these Nurgle players and these Nurgle players who have the ball. Then there's pressure on it and they have to do something with the ball and roll some dice. So my aim this turn, or my aim is to do that, and I think the way to achieve it is to blitz through this rotter and then just flood this gap with players and get around here. Maybe some around this way as well, because that's an easier route through. So put the thrower in there. And then realise that lineman was in the way. That lineman probably should have gone there, and then the thrower through the gap. Unfortunately, didn't get a push, so had to roll go for it after. But now I've got a gap I can run through. So sending the blitzer and this catcher through. Maybe this lineman as well. I think I'll catch one that way. So yeah, because I'd messed up and I think this lineman was in the way and forced to go for it on that blitzer. If he'd been the assist, I could have got the thrower through as well. But I did get 3 players through. And now the ball's not safe, and Nurgle have to do something about that. So stepped him in there, which means it's going to be almost certainly be 1 dice at best. Unless I'm going right round, which I probably can. That's not going to give me very good recovery. Gets on that catcher. He's down and knocked back a bit. Yeah, doing really well this drive, getting 3 dice blocks with the beast. Which when you got a strength 5 unreliable player, that's the best way to use them really. Sort of leaning on 2 dice blocks with a big guy is very risky. So here they're having to feel like they have to move the ball between players, so that's more dice. Worked, but they've got it up here, and that's not really that safe. I've got 2/2+ dodges gives me 2 dice on the ball with a block player at this point, so I'm quite happy with that. So many players got tied up doing other things and watching other players. This was sort of how it was left. So ball on the floor, which is what we want. And a really good scatter for me. That's in between 2 players. So now I'm looking at options. How do I open up this gap to get players through? And really I wanted my thrower to be through there on the ball, but I'll take this blitzer doing it. So thrower can push back here. Just needing an assist. That's the catcher who was stunned by the Pestigore in the first turn of the drive. But that gives me a gap. So blitzer can go through there. Left to pick up. I should maybe have not re-rolled that, but I do. And then decided I'd just chuck the ball over there because an inaccurate throw would be fine. And then so go for it. Pick the ball up again. See where you get. Was kind of the idea, because I had no way of making the ball safe here. I was going to be blitzed on 2 dice wherever I went. There was nowhere I could have held that off. And actually, I think a draw is a great result for me. So if they don't score, I'm quite happy. But with the ball down here, I feel like I've got more chance of scoring than they have. So stick it over there. Okay, use tools to get that blitz, and then just gonna stand on the ball near it. Yeah, near it. Don't try to pick up. Done there, but armor's held up pretty well for me in this game. Just had the 2 removals plus the sending off, which was an error, as I pointed out at the time. Okay, so here I think I was looking at who can I push onto the ball to try and get myself a favourable scatter, because I'm happy to go try and pick up in 1 or 2 tackle zones if I need to. And yeah, I think this is dodge out with this blitzer. Yeah, Pestigore onto the ball. That's what I'm looking at. It's just a push. But scatter not amazing, but it's in 2 tackle zones. That's a 4+ pickup, which is not that bad. So get a catcher in scoring position and see what we can do. Bit of protection. So I'm thinking thrower, pick up the ball, dodge back there. But yeah, don't re-roll that one. And then wanted to drop over here somewhere would be great, and it was. So that's just where I wanted it. This really puts me in the driving seat for the drive now. Only 2 turns left, 1 for me, but I've got 5 players who can score if I can get them the ball. 5 players who can reach the end zone. Are physically near enough for that. So that's the last re-roll for the Nurgle. It does make it with that. And I know Nurgle will need a scoring threat if they're going to get one, so that means this Rotter has to dodge and move forwards. Let's push back on the thrower. And pushing that way, so they're just trying to get as many tackle zones on the ball as they can. And then this is the catcher going in here. He does get knocked down. I think personally I'd have pushed into the blitzer and get the blitzer in there so he's trapped. Because it's going to be at best 3+ to dodge there, and then worse to go anywhere else. He's going to be kind of stuck. But they do push into the thrower instead to go that way. So knockout, but that's basically as a stun was fine there anyway. That's no worse than a stun. What I mean in that a stun would have been putting him out the rest of the game anyway. And that's a both down to end the turn. With no scoring threat, so I know the Nurgle can't score. That means I can focus all of my attention on trying to work out how to score from here. Which is not great. Not a great situation because 3 of these on the ball. So I'm looking at, yeah, pretty rough pickups. I think what I went for in the end, and I'm interested to see if there was something better. But I went for, what did I go for? I think I put, yeah, catcher in the end zone. And then I know I want the thrower to come pick the ball and chuck it to him. And because of disturbing presence on this guy and this guy, so it's 2 of them, yeah, that's all going to be quite horrible. But I think what I settled on was he dodges over there. Then, yeah, it's 1 dice on the pesticle from this, so that's a blitz. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I go for it. Push the ball, push pesticle onto the ball, see if I can get a better scatter. I don't think it can get any worse than in 3 tackle zones. Yeah, that's that, and then I'll take this assist out with that same blitzer. Then I've got 2 dice on this warrior, get him in there, preferably knocked down. If he's not knocked down, that's fine. And then the thrower has to come in, pick up the ball, dodge back there, chuck the ball to the catcher in the end zone. There is what I came up with. I don't know. I don't think there's really anything better. And a lot of that worked out. So that was quite nice to see. Except this was a both down, which is fine because I've got block, but it means I didn't get to try and scatter the ball. So the thrower's got to make a 4+ pickup. I've still got a team reroll as well. So that's a pal. 4th armor break of the game, 3rd one from a block. They've all been stuns. So that dodge is successful. Catches in the end zone as far over as I can to make the throw as short as possible. So I need the reroll for this 4+ pickup. But then with this was, I think, a long pass and 2 disturbing presence. I need a 6 to get it on target, and that doesn't happen. And because of safe throw, that was modified down to a 1, but safe throw means he doesn't fumble the ball; he just keeps hold of it. And we just go for some. The floor doesn't have mighty blow approaches. I think I got away from tentacles a lot in this game. I think only once it didn't work, which was quite nice. So they did fail that dodge. So yeah, Nurgle can look at. They can hit this guy. There's a couple of players they could surf, but surfs don't get you star player points, and it's turn 16. Movement 7 catcher, armor 7 catcher is going to be the softest target. So would have needed to go for it to get around here and surf, but also if this was a casualty, you wouldn't have earned any points from it if it was a surf, but would have done if it wasn't. So sending 1-1. I think being as short on players as I was, which is largely my own fault. That was about as good as it was going to get. And yeah, one of the is ranked highest in the league among the 8 coaches we've got with what we've done over the last 4 seasons. So yeah, very happy with 1-1. Decent MVP for them. Shame it's a rotter leveling, but a player leveled. I've got a lineman who didn't level. And this felt a bit, when I looked at these numbers, I was like, yeah, that feels all right against Nurgle. How high was against Nurgle? You expect to be down, and I felt like I was keeping up a bit with the number of blocks I was throwing. Wasn't picking on rotters like I'd intended to, so should have done that a bit more, I think. And maybe I could have got something in these, but yeah, nothing but, was it, I think 4 stuns the whole game. Yeah, 4 armor breaks, all stuns, and one of them is a foul. Yeah, so not great in the physical side of things, but for a couple of passes, we got some points on the board. So 3 players got some points, but no one levelled. They got a levelled rotter. This will seem quite normal. There's a load of 1s here, although these are probably on armor and injury rolls because, like this was all great. So a lot of those 1s could well have been there, but that is a massive amount of 1s compared to everything else, and not that much went wrong for them. There were some really stupid failures. There's 3 of them. Only one of those failed. So, and yeah, those 2 pickups were both 1s. So some of them were turning up at important moments, but I think a lot of those were in where you want 1s to be on these 2 things. And for me, it all felt quite even. I didn't have any dice complaints anyway. That came out 3 times out of 11. which is about right. No, oh, actually, it isn't at all, is it? Should be 2 times out of 11, really. But yeah, it happens. That's something you have to deal with facing Nurgle. This was unreasonably successful. I should never have got away from the beast that many times. And my one KO return woke up and block dice seemed fine all round, I think. That was the wrong thing. Yeah, all quite even. So, yeah, that was a good one. I've had one more game played so far. This was a horrible game for the Skaven where they lost loads of their team. But it ended 3-0 to the Amazons, who also had a player killed. MVP guy and a dead guy as well, and it was a Gutterella who died. It was no good. Was the only permanent damage they had. But yeah, they're not looking in good condition so far. Team rating down to 790 will show that. Because they had so it was a dead Gutterella who got MVP, so no levels. But also the other Gutterella and the Storm Vermin both missing the next match. This is going to be a really tough next game for them, with 3 loner line rats filling in. They're playing against humans. But after that, I think they should be okay getting back on their feet. But yeah, that tough next game to go through where they're going to have some inducements. Probably not enough to induce a gutter runner, but they'll have a game without gutter runners. And only 1 Storm Vermin. The Amazons, where were they? They had a couple of levels. Both of which were +1 movement. So they've got a fast lineman and a fast blitzer. I think I might have taken it on the blitzer, although I think skills are maybe more valuable. But yeah, a quick blitzer is nice to have. I don't think I'd have taken it on the lino though. I think that would be block or wrestle for me, or guard if it was a 5/5. But yeah, they've got a couple of quick players. This is the team I'm playing next. I'd hoped to have a tackle player by then, but I don't. So this is going to be a tough one. I think there's going to have to be a lot of it done with thinking about the game rather than just banging stuff, because they're going to be quite injury resilient with all that dodge. Other 2 teams, so the Nurgle had 1 level, which was that Rotter, who rolled a double and took leader, which probably wouldn't be anyone's go-to choice, but the more I think about this, the more I think that's just a great thing to take. They're stuck on 2 re-rolls. That gives them a third. It's a really cheap way of getting a third one. And much earlier than they're going to get it, because it's 140,000, and they've got Pestigors to buy yet as well. So yeah, it's not a very durable player to have leader on. Kind of makes him a bit of a target. But yeah, great choice, great way to spend a double, I think, on a Rotter, on a 2 reroll build. And I didn't get any levels. We did get some points. We didn't lose anyone. We didn't get much in the way of winnings, which is a shame. So we can't afford the apothecary yet. That's what I wanted. The 2 things I wanted was a tackle player and an apothecary out of that game, and did get either of them. But we hadn't lost anyone, so it's definitely people in much worse positions. 2 games to come. We've got Dark Elves against humans and Undead against Chaos. They're coming sometime later in the next couple of weeks, but